Welcome to Season 1, Episode 4, Stronger Than Ever, Kerry's Path to Fitness, Family and Fulfillment. Life is full of challenges and my next guest, Kerry, knows this firsthand. Over the past decade, Kerry has been a devoted mother of 9. She has navigated the ups and downs of marriage, divorce and blending a new family, all while managing the daily chaos of a household filled with kids, chickens, ducks and a thriving vegetable garden. Like many of us, COVID brought its own set of challenges: more time at home, more homemade meals, and the struggle to stay active. But Kerry made a choice. With a strong family history of diabetes, she committed to leading the healthiest life possible. She joined our vibrant Zumba community, embraced strength training, and transformed her approach to food and fitness. Since working with Kerry, she's managed to lose over 10% of her body weight. She's gained loads of muscle and she feels stronger than ever. Expanding her own interest and desire for further education, Kerry also recently earned a certificate in nutrition. She's skillfully balanced her large family while making remarkable health choices, proving that no matter how busy life gets, there's always room for self-care and growth. In this episode, Kerry shares how she made these incredible changes, the habits that have helped her stay on track, and her advice for anyone feeling stuck. If you think it's too late or too hard to put yourself first, Kerry's inspiring story will change your mind. Let's get into it. Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Karen.
Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to, first of all, introduce you to people watching. Kerry, you are now 50.
Yes,
You,
I am.
you have 4 kids.
Yes.
From this little body.
Yes.
1 meter 52. 1 meter 52.
Yeah.
4 kids and 50 years old. Kerry, you came to me in May of 2023, so we're about 18, 19 months.
Yes.
And I'd love you to just maybe give a little bit of understanding where you've come from. You've always been an active person and you've got a lot of energy. You're my little pocket rocket in the front row of Zumba. But maybe just where were you, say, 3, 4, 5 years ago? Where were you mentally? Where were you physically?
So I have always been relatively active, and because of a jaw injury, I have to maintain my strength to minimize my pain. But through COVID, my activity dropped, my weight increased, and my fitness also declined. So coming out of COVID, I was looking to increase my fitness and strength and all of that, and diet, to minimize the pain that I experienced from my jaw and my scoliosis.
Yeah, okay. And that's probably, I mean, there's a common theme we see with a lot of people in COVID who were locked down and sort of not having outlets to exercise. What made you sort of make the shift? What was it in your mind that sort of thought, okay, it's time to do this now? What am I going to do? How did you decide on the next step?
On the next step, well, my friend Therese, who'd been trying to talk me into coming to Zumba for a very long time, eventually got me here, and that was that. And I saw you up on the stage and I went, that's what I want to aim for.
Wow.
And here I am, and I don't think I've stopped coming since.
You haven't. You've been very consistent.
Yes.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
When I spoke to you, obviously, about what I do, seeing as though you've mentioned that that was, sort of, I guess, what inspired you or directed you, what did you think about the idea of strength training, especially coming from the injuries or the things that you have to deal with?
So I had done strength training in the past, but when I moved up from Skye to Caulfield, I was doing exercise physiology and Pilates. So 2 sessions of Pilates and 3 sessions of exercise physiology. And I was walking every day. I wasn't doing those in Frankston. But when I moved up here, there were no groups that I could attend. The exercise physiology was all for 55s and above, and they were people with injuries and that weren't fit. So there was nothing up here that I could slot into. And so I was looking for something that I could fit around my personal needs, to redevelop. And I've absolutely gone above and beyond where I was at before I moved up here.
And how do you explain that? What is it that you've managed to achieve? I mean, I've got the stats here that in the first 9 months of working together, you dropped down 8 kilos. And your hips dropped 6.5 centimeters, your thigh dropped 4 centimeters. So physically, we know that, and we can see you're looking fit, you're looking strong. In terms of the strength training, what did you think about that going into it? Because I pushed you pretty hard. Obviously, we eased into it, but was there some fear there or understanding?
No, I still managed it. So I still made sure through the training sessions that you put together and by seeing an exercise physiologist just to make sure that I was doing things correctly and not going to do further damage. I took it very slow and careful. I didn't jump into anything. I didn't want to be injured anywhere else. So because of the past training that I'd had, I knew how far I could push myself. And I do push myself.
You do push yourself,
Yeah.
but it's fantastic because you already had that base. So also understanding, like, really, you're such a physical person, and you sing, and you're a woman of many talents. So you understand your body.
Yes.
And yeah, it was important. As I said, it's been 18, 19 months. We didn't just throw you in the deep end. And also, just for viewers to note that I think we've done maybe one face-to-face session together, which was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But having that base was really important for you, understanding your body and how to progress.
Well, I really like doing the sessions on my own. I did like them when I was doing group sessions with people that were an equal sort of fitness to me. But I do find that I enjoy the sessions on my own. I tend to push myself harder than having a group around me or being watched. I think for some reason, it feels more intense when somebody's watching and I don't get the best out of myself. So when I'm just focused on myself and pushing myself and watching my own the records, because I do check in on the records because we've got the app that we put the details into each workout. I can go just a little bit more than I did last time, and in doing so, increase my fitness and strength.
It's great to
every
see
time.
that the improvements that you've managed to create yourself.
Yes.
I think a lot of that speaks volumes about your confidence as well, because obviously people who are watching are like, I've got no idea where to start. And so you've got that confidence and you've got that drive also to push, and so that's obviously something you've had from a very young age.
I understand why some people would be reluctant to start in the gym, because it is quite confronting going in there and seeing all these people that look like they know what they're doing and then thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I've found a gym that's got lots of regulars and everybody's in their own world looking after their own bodies, and no one really cares about what you're doing unless you ask them. I think I've had one person try to help me out when I was doing an exercise potentially incorrectly, and that was pleasant. But other than that, everybody sticks to themselves. And so the gym itself, if you can get over that initial hurdle of feeling anxious about being there, it's great.
When did you get over that hurdle, or did you?
Maybe it took me. It probably took me 2 weeks to really sort of start to feel comfortable. And now sometimes I'm the only little girl in there lifting big weights, and there's lots of men running around, and I don't care, which is good.
Got to put that fear aside and that self-conscious mindset and just get in and do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
No, I've always wanted to be fit. I want to be gardening until I'm 90 something. I want to be able to get up and down off the ground. I don't want to fall over and not be able to get up and have broken bones. I want this body to last, because my body will last. That happens to the women in my family. My mind may not, but if my fitness and my diet and everything else is up to scratch, then maybe I can make the brain last as well as the body.
Yeah, totally. I think they go hand in hand, your physical health and your mental health. Let's talk about food. Where were you at, let's say 4 years ago, with habits in eating? And again, we're talking about COVID times, but maybe pre-COVID, during COVID, how have things changed?
My diet has fluctuated around probably for the last 10 years in terms of I have been trying to manage my weight, but I wasn't always perhaps pairing it with sufficient cardio. The carbs I've played around with in terms of, I haven't cut carbs out completely, but I would have less bread, for instance. So I would have a salad and meat and not have a salad sandwich for lunch, just to knock a few calories off meals and stuff. But I eat a lot and I still like to have a chocolate. but my eating, I am managing with the app and protein, and I have to keep watching it because in my family we have a history of diabetes. I have a 50% increased chance of diabetes because I had gestational diabetes with Cassidy. And so sometimes my body, despite having had food, still seems to be hungry. But I'm finding that on the protein, I'm feeling full and less of that hunger, or more able to cope with a certain level of hunger. But managing it on apps and watching and knowing that I've eaten sufficient calories, or if I've got some space to have something more, is very, very helpful for my body to get used to the correct reaction to the feelings that I'm having. I think that that's probably been the biggest change since working with you. Yeah.
Again, you're very intuitive in what your body needs, so it's great that you can actually say, well, I need more of this or less of this, and you've also been studying that, so you understand it more. But if you go back 5 years ago, I mean, did you have any understanding of nutrition?
I definitely did. I have a science degree as well, so I've always actually taken that kind of approach to my eating, but this is a level above that, and the biggest change is the protein.
And do you think that change is based on the determination to make a change physically?
Yeah, because I've seen the change physically.
And that's given you motivation to keep going?
Yeah, and it works. It was hard, the protein initially in the weight loss before I had built up the muscles to the level they are now. It seemed like the protein was making it difficult to lose weight. So I was pulling back a little bit on the protein, but now protein it's everything in every meal. It's
a non-negotiable. You don't have to think about it.
It's not a meal if it doesn't have protein.
Yeah, 100%. That's such a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's what I always say to clients is prioritize that protein first, and that makes a big, big difference. In terms of fluid, maybe touch on fluid, touch on supplements.
Water has always been my go-to drink. I drink a lot of water because in part throughout my pregnancies I was extra thirsty. I was always high readings with the blood sugar, and then got the gestational diabetes with Cassidy. And so that's just been a habit I've developed. I scull a lot of water.
Great. Would you say 3 liters? 3 liters a day?
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't actually count that, but
probably
when I do fill up a glass, I empty it very quickly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any supplements?
So the supplements, I have to have iron every day. I can't have a full dose of iron because that increases my pain in my jaw. And my doctor has tried to get me off the supplements, and I've experimented with that. But if I don't take a supplement, and I realized I didn't take one last night, I feel flat in the afternoon.
So do I.
So the iron, I take a child-sized dose, and that in my last blood reading with the doctor, everything was perfect.
Brilliant.
So I can't get rid of it. I obviously can't process the iron as well from food, and I need the supplement. And the protein powders I have now and then, but I try and get my protein from Whole Foods.
Brilliant.
Or a protein bar because I like to chew it.
Yeah.
And the creatine I'm having now and then. Yeah, but egg whites. I had egg whites blended with spinach this morning. That was my breakfast.
That's been your liquid gold, as I say. Egg white.
Yeah.
Egg
it was a lot of protein. Actually, 45 grams of protein this morning, I think, because I had a protein bar as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I'm
That's
ready.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Egg whites can be bought at the supermarket in the freezer section or in a carton, and definitely a great addition to add more protein into your diet. Lastly, to finish, in terms of your mindset shift, what would you suggest somebody who's starting out? How would you sort of help them or motivate them to also start and make that mindset shift? What would you say to them?
I think that if you want to feel good when you wake up, and if you want to have energy that lasts throughout the day, and be feeling physically capable of looking after yourself and those around you, then that's motivation. But sometimes that's not enough, and you do have to just go, okay, I may not want to go to the gym today, and I may not want to eat healthy today. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to get through the next 2 hours, and then the rest of the day is mine. So that's why I exercise early. I don't want to wait till the afternoon when I might be feeling flat, and then definitely just not go to the gym. I get it done. I go for my walk, I go to the gym, I eat well, and then the rest of the day there's a little bit of room to play. I can sit on the couch for a bit, and I can have a little bit of chocolate.
If you could turn back time and tell your younger self, a really good piece of advice or something, what would it be? Or if you had to tell your daughters, a really crucial piece of your puzzle.
Find a fitness activity that is fun, because that will get you there. If it's for the social, that will get you there when you don't necessarily feel like your body is up to it. But if you just get moving, because it's fun, then that fitness can increase and then lead you into other areas of fitness and training. But the fun is key. If it's not fun, you won't do it.
100%. Yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much, Kerry.
You're welcome.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Fit Frame of Mind. I hope you found this conversation inspiring, insightful, and maybe even a little eye-opening. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please drop them below. And if you or someone you know has an incredible story to share of transformation, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out via the email on the screen now. Don't forget to like and follow my page for more fitness and health tips, workouts, Zumba choreography, and plenty more to keep you moving, motivated, and feeling your best. And just a quick note, this series of interviews is for information and entertainment purposes only. The stories and advice shared are based on personal experiences and should not replace professional medical, psychological, or fitness advice. Always consult a qualified expert for your individual needs. I'm Karen Green. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.